So what does the NBA do today? Like, what do you think is happening in the league offices as they get back to New York City?
I think there's just a lot of venting going on right now. There may be some calls placed between league officials and Players Association officials about what happened, because beyond Adam Silver wanting this to be a competitive game, he felt there was a mutual understanding with the players that they were not going to just turn it into a glorified pickup game, that they were going to attempt to play competitively, and that didn't happen. So I think there's probably some phone calls being made. As far as fixing it goes, I don't think there is a fix, Rich. There isn't, because the NBA's tried everything over the last decade or so. They have tried mixing rosters up so it's not East versus West. They have tried naming captains and having kind of a snake draft. They have tried financially incentivizing things for the winners. They've tried everything in the book.
The fixed score at the end of the game to make
score,
it competitive.
The Elam ending,
right.
All the things, all the tricks they could possibly pull, and nothing has worked. They go back to the traditional format this year, and it's worse than ever before. Now, I've seen some suggestions that because of the proliferation of talent globally, you could do USA versus the world, which on paper makes some sense. But if you watch back that All-Star game, the two most indifferent guys to the outcome were Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic. Luka Doncic, who went for a 2-for-1 by shooting a 75-footer in the first half, and Nikola Jokic, who looked like he wanted to be anywhere but there for every minute he was in that game. So while I get the theory that USA versus the world could be competitive, I don't believe when you put guys like that out there on the floor it would be.
So then also the issue with that would be you'd have to have an equal number of such players voted in. I mean, there's such a conversation about who's snubbed and who isn't, and who is a starter and who is not. You'd have to make sure that there's an all-star roster for domestic and then international.
I think there is, though. I think you can, look, there would undoubtedly be one or two guys on either side that would ordinarily get in if it was a normal competition.
Sure.
But look, I don't think the players would have a leg to stand on here, because the NBA wouldn't be doing this if they put forth more of an effort when the game is actually being played. The NBA wants to see a competitive game, and this might be the last lever that they could pull. But people out there that believe the NBA should just do away with it, it's not going to happen, because when the ratings come out, and these ratings are probably going to be conflated a little bit inflated, I should say, a little bit, because on Saturday they said there were 10 million unique viewers that watched All-Star Saturday night. We're probably going to see a comparable number that watched the All-Star game, but it's still going to be a big number, bigger than most, if not every, regular season game the NBA's ever played. As long as that many people are watching it, the NBA is never going to do away with it.
But what if the conversation is as negative as it is today? I mean, that you don't want to have your show. Listen, you don't want to have your showcase All-Star game have an in-arena feel to it like it's a 40-point blowout. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to hear just the I guess drumbeat of the music that's being played in the arena over, a disinterested group of young fans who are trying to see something. Like that. You feel it through the television set.
Look, I agree. Now, look, I think there should be. They should spend the next 11 months figuring out a way to restructure the entire weekend. I mean, one of the things that made Sunday a lot worse was that in most All-Star games, it's goofy for 3.5 quarters. But most of them, you get a competitive 2 or 3 minute stretch at the end where these guys decide they want to win. You didn't get that on Sunday because it was a 20-point game in the fourth quarter. So they missed out on that. But the entire All-Star weekend, in my opinion, needs to be completely mothballed and changed entirely. The dunk contest needs to go. I mean, due respect to Mac McClung, he's won 2 dunk contests and played 4 NBA games. That should not be who is winning the dunk contest year after year. And if you can't get all-stars to compete, which you can't, I think they need to do away with it and do something else. The skills competition, while a good idea at the beginning, has become goofy. Anthony Edwards playing with his left hand entirely made a mockery of it. There's no need to continue on with that. They need to find new features for this. And I think the Sabrina versus Steph was amazing and is something that can not only be duplicated, but they can build on in the future.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.